It's a very good afternoon. You're watching ZTN's News Blitz. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Zimbabwe mobile voter registration blitz begins. Civil servants declare incapacitation. Doctors, nurses beg for food in Ethiopia. And in sports, Zimbabwe under-19 cricket. What's next? We'll give you more. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission began mobile voter registration. The exercise is not meant for the upcoming by-elections, whose voters' roll closed when election and nomination dates were proclaimed, but for the delimitation exercise expected to be conducted after the national population census. Our news crew is visiting some of the registration centers in Harare, and we'll start by crossing over to Munashe Mukhahlera, who's at Town House. Good afternoon, Munashe.
Good afternoon, Christine. We are here at Town House in Harare Central Business District, where the Zimbabwe Mobile Voters Registration Blitz has just kicked off. Now, yesterday, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission's Chief Elections Officer, Uthoile Slaigwana, announced that government had set aside about $4.5 billion for the Mobile Registration Blitz, which was set to kick off today from the 1st of February until the 28th of February in the first phase, and the second phase is set to kick off from the 11th of April until the 30th of April 2022. Now, of course, it is the first day, so we haven't really seen a huge turnout, but people have been trickling in. Now, it is a mobile voters registration blitz, so the teams will be moving across registration centers within the constituencies. Currently, we're looking about 2,723 centers across the country within just the first phase alone. Now, I did say we are at Town House, which is the Harare Central constituency, and an interesting fact is that since 2003, the Member of Parliament seat had been occupied by Murisi Zwizwai, who was then recalled 18 years later in 2021, and he is seeking for re-election. So we will keep you updated as we get more information about the voters registration, the elections, and the candidates. It is back to you in studio.
Takuchi Hambakwe is in Harare North to give us an update.
Well, good afternoon, Christine. We're live here at Creston Park Primary School. I'm here in the staff room where the ZEC team has been stationed since morning. They're part of the blitz that started today, that's running for the whole month. There hasn't been much activity according to the officials here. They're telling us at least 4 people have come through to register to vote. Majority of the people that have also come through are those that we're checking for their names on the voters roll. According to statistics that came through last year, we know that just under 3,000 people had managed to register in the whole of 2021 when ZEC was quizzed about this issue. There were issues to do with COVID-19, induced lockdowns impeding the slated voter registration blitz across the country, but the ZEC team has restarted this blitz ahead of the by-elections that are starting on the 26th. The team will be stationed here for a few days and they will be moving in the next couple of days. So we'll be keeping you updated if there will be any other numbers of people that will come through later on today. Back to you guys in the studio.
In Harare East, we have Owen Kaura. Owen, what's happening?
Well, thank you very much, Christine. I am here in Harare East at CPT Senior School, which is one of the mobile registration centers. And of course, yes, the mobile registration commenced today. And from the information that I've gathered from this center, the center opened quite early at 8 a.m. and people have been trickling in. And I also gathered that even after 5 p.m. they will still be here, so the last person who is still in the queue to register can still register. But also, which is something which is very important to note, is that this exercise is meant for those who have not registered on the biometric platform. If you've registered on the biometric platform, this exercise is not specifically for you. And of course, you can go and check your names on the ZEC website. You can check your name there if your name is on the voters roll. And of course, yesterday the ZEC CEO, that's the Chief Elections Officer, Uthoile Slaigwana, made it also very clear that this exercise is not for the upcoming by-elections slated for March 2026, but also for the coming delimitation exercise for the elections which are coming next year in 2023. So for now, it's back to you, Christine.
Thank you so much for that, Owen. And in Harare West, we have Samantha Rosari. Sam, what's the turnout like there?
Hello, Christine. Now, ZEC has started the first phase of the voters' registration blitz, and is running from the 1st of February, which is today, to the 28th of April nationwide. And of course, each mobile registration will be stationed in one station for at least 3 days. And ZEC, of course, is urging everyone who is at least 18 years of age who hasn't registered to be able to access these mobile stations and register to vote. They are urging those who have moved addresses as well from previous constituencies from last election to be able to know what's going on in the community and go on and register in their new constituencies. I am currently in Mebelrain, which is one of the first mobile registration centers, and at the moment there isn't much traffic, but they are hoping to have more traffic as the days progress. But also maybe it's an issue where ZEC has to maybe do more awareness programs in communities so that communities know exactly what's going on with regards to the registration processes. Otherwise, that's it from this end. Thank you, Christina. Back to the studio.
Lawrence Lifa is on the ground in Mutare to give us an update.
The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission in Manicaland has today embarked on a mobile voter registration blitz under a national program being rolled out across the country's 210 constituencies as part of preparations for the delimitation exercise ahead of the 2023 general elections. The mobile voter registration blitz has been rolled out in a bid to carry out a well-coordinated delimitation exercise that is informed by actual numbers on the ground, and the people have been trickling in at centers dotted around the city, consisting Chikanga, Dangamvura, Sakuva, and the CBD.
While a high voter registration turnout is highly anticipated, ZEC Chief Elections Officer Utoile Slaigwana urged civil society organizations and political parties to avoid offering citizens incentives for registering to vote.
We would also urge civil society organizations and political parties to desist from giving voter registration incentives, as this may entice those already on the voters' roll to register multiple times. Although multiple registrations are eventually picked by our system, the practice gives an outward false impression of the actual numbers registered.
Zimbabwe's public workers have declared incapacitation ahead of schools opening. The first 2022 school term opens on February 7th, and workers are not happy with the slow pace of salary negotiations. The government and the workers meet in the National Joint Negotiation Council, and both parties last met on January 14th, with workers having tabled a minimum salary of $675 per month. Zimbabwe Confederation of Public Sector Trade Unions Secretary David Zatsunga speaks.
Our view is that there is not even a need to stop a job action here. The salary levels themselves just then create a situation, an impossible situation for people to go back to work. You know, of course I can't make a declaration to say what will happen, because we always make our decisions as a collective, and I'm not. I would be putting the cart before the horse if we're going to make any statement to do with strike action.
Secretary for Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, Simon Masanga, told ZTN a meeting will soon be convened.
No official opposition. That's why the meeting has not yet been convened. The NEMA process that we go through. We'll soon call for a meeting because the team leader is also away on official business.
Marking of the Zimbabwe School Examinations Council November 2021 ordinary and advanced level examinations has started. ZIMSEC spokesperson Nikki Dlamini confirmed this, adding that the marking of grade 7 examinations is progressing well, with results expected soon. She spoke to ZTN earlier today.
Yes, they've started marking ordinary and advanced level. Grade 7 results are yet to be released, but we are looking forward to them. We can't speculate at the moment, just like what I said in my last report, that there are processes that need to be followed. And once those processes are done, we will be able to release the results. We are aware of the schools that are opening. I don't think it should affect the Form 1.
A total of 165 roads in Harare's 45 suburbs are impassable and require urgent attention. On Thursday, authorities in the city came face to face with the city's derelict road network and committed to repairing 31.4 kilometers using revenue from both residents and the government. Acting Harare Mayor, Councillor Stuart Musarura Mutizwa, revealed that 1.2 billion Zimbabwe dollars has been set aside to rehabilitate the city's roads. Last year, government declared Harare's roads a state of disaster and moved in to assist in repairing some of them.
The roads we have just sampled, Honourable Deputy Minister, are just but a tip of an iceberg. What we now experience in the whole of Harare are no longer roads, but craters and potholes all over the places. So the reason why we have chosen today to restate the state of the roads in Harare.
Deputy Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Marian Chombo, who also toured the city's road network, said rehabilitation of roads will prioritize strategic routes.
Most roads are no longer trafficable, giving a myriad of challenges to our motorists, and urban local authorities are no exception. In the first phase, we were targeting strategic roads in the city of Harare, but we now want the government to assist all the local authorities. We are touring the roads today so that we have evidence of the prevailing situation on the ground, which will eventually trigger more action by the government to rehabilitate most of the roads.
2 men died while a third is battling for his life in hospital after they were stabbed during a fight. The incident occurred on Saturday in Slovela, a district in Zimbabwe's Midlands province. According to police, Blessed Swanda and Talcott Mupasi had a misunderstanding over a woman which led to a fight. Talcott's brother, Agape, intervened and stabbed Swanda in the back. Hilary Maposa, a bystander, tried to stop the melee but was also stabbed. The third man, Ngaba Ndlovu, tried to intervene but was also stabbed in the chest by Talcott. Blessed Swanda and Hilary Maposa died on admission to the hospital, while Ndlovu sustained serious injuries and is receiving treatment at Kwekwe General Hospital. The two Mupasi brothers have since been arrested and are facing murder charges. Midlands Provincial Police spokesperson Inspector Emmanuel Mahoko confirmed the incident to ZTN.
ZRP confirms having received and investigating the murder of 2 men who died after being stabbed by a knife at Crossroads Business Center, Slovela, during the night on 29 January 2022. The now deceased 2 men were identified as Blessed Swanda and Hilary Maposa, aged 25 and 21 respectively. Police attended the scene. The injured 3 men were taken to hospital where Blessed and Hilary were pronounced dead. Ndlovu is admitted in Kwekwe District Hospital where he is receiving treatment. The 2 suspects were arrested and are in police custody.
Former South African President Jacob Zuma's appeal in a case to remove the lead prosecutor in an arms deal corruption trial has been postponed to mid-February, when a ruling is expected. In October, Pietermaritzburg High Court Judge Pete Koen dismissed a special plea by Zuma to have prosecutor Billy Downer taken off the case after accusing him of bias, among other complaints. Parents of children who fail to go to school next week in Tanzania's capital, Dodoma, will be arrested. The order was made by Anthony Mtaka, the regional commissioner for Dodoma. He made the announcement during a visit to a local school 2 weeks after the start of the academic year. Some of the nurses and doctors at the biggest hospital in Ethiopia's war-torn Tigray region are begging for food to feed their families. They've not been paid for 8 months, and this has led to them having to find other ways to support their families. This comes as severe hunger is hitting more and more people in Tigray. And 6 people died yesterday when a minibus was destroyed by a roadside bomb during an ambush by armed men in northeastern Kenya near the border with Somalia. The assailants opened fire on the 14-seater vehicle after it ran over an explosive device about 8 kilometers from the town of Mandera. Sports News is up next. The Zimbabwe Cricket Under-19 team ended their ICC World Cup campaign on a low. Zimbabwe lost to host West Indies by 8 wickets in an 11th place playoff yesterday. We're now joined by our correspondent, Brighton Jawi, for more on the Under-19's performance. Brighton, what do you make of Zimbabwe's performance?
Yeah, well, these guys obviously struggled. They had 2 wins in the whole tournament. They won 1 game in the group stages, and the other one in the playoffs. They beat Papua New Guinea in their first game, with captain scoring under Emmanuel Bauer, and then also in the playoff against Scotland. Yesterday they finished their tournament with a loss against West Indies. They lost by 8 runs. So it's not really surprising that they struggled because they didn't have the best of preparations. Remember, COVID affected their preparations, and they tried to make last-minute arrangement games with local teams in select sides. And even the coach said they were not really expecting much. However, there were some noticeable individual performances. The Bennett brothers averaging over 40, Captain Bauer scoring 100, bowler Alex Palau getting a 5. That's something that to build on. But this was really a disappointing performance. But it's understandable considering the conditions.
Brighton, we also have the Logan Cup action going on in Harare. Can you tell us what's been happening?
Yes, the Logan Cup is going on today. It's day 2 in the games going on in Old Hararians in the Harare Sports Club. It has been yesterday. There was a notable performances from I should mention Ernest Masuku, the Tuskers bowler, who reached the milestone of 100 first-class wickets. He gave Zimbabwe opener Kevin Kasuza a rip snorter, and that was a milestone for him. Daniel Jegeo made his first-class debut for Eagles, and also good to see Tadio Marumani getting back to form. So these games are going on, and they are quite important. There's everything to play for because all the teams have got a chance to win the tournament. It's something that will keep tabs on and will keep you updated.
After losing some of their key players in the ongoing transfer period, Army side Black Rhinos have moved swiftly to capture some top rooms. Chauya Chipembere have brought in some new players in their dressing room, including Tawanda Nyamandwe and Peace Makaha. Coach Herbert Marua is confident his team will be competitive once again, despite losing some of their star players.
Losing 8 players this period, Black Rhinos are in a rebuilding exercise. They have lost some of their best players, including Tawanda Macheke, who is now at Maritzburg United. They've also lost Walter Sande, who is going to be with Islanders. So they have brought in some of the big name players in the local scene, including Blessing Maunganidze from Herendaus, Gordon Goriat. They've also brought in Ngandu Mangala, who was with the Dynamos in 2019, where he scored about 3 goals in the Premier Soccer League. So Herbert Marua has said that he is still confident that his team will finish in top 4.
So far so good. We have new players coming in, and we have old players. So we're trying to fuse and make sure we have a better team. But basically, the team is encouraging.
And that's it from us on News Blitz today. You can, of course, stay connected with us on all our social media platforms and our website for all these stories and more updates. Thanks for watching. World in 5 coming up next.